Good day, I am Larilyn Maligdong, a BLIS student from Nanascos. Here I am today to discuss about the selecting the research method. Applied research. There is no good reason to assume that basic and applied research are mutually exclusive. Although the criteria for merit vary somewhat along the continuum, there is more overlap than typically realized. Action research. A major type of applied research is sometimes called action research. Action research aims to solve problems with direct application to the working world. Isaac and Michael define action research as practical, orderly, flexible, and adaptive. It is empirical to a degree, but weak in internal and external validity. Isaac and Michael identify the following basic steps in action research. First is defining the problems or setting the goal, reviewing the literature, formulating testable hypotheses, arranging the research settings, establishing measurement techniques and evaluation criteria, analyzing the data, and evaluating the result. Evidence-based research. Evidence-based research for decision making has become very popular within the library and information science domain. In an economic environment, there is a demand for libraries to make decisions based on current valid data. Evaluative research. Evaluative or evaluation research has its primary goal not the discovery of knowledge, but rather a testing of the application of knowledge within a specific program or project. Two general types of evaluative research are summative evaluation and formative evaluation. Types of cost-benefits analysis described by Lancaster are net value approach, value of reducing uncertainty in decision making, cost of buying service elsewhere, librarian time replaces user time. For example, the librarian saves the user time by performing his or her task, and service improves organization's performance or saves its money. Other kinds of cost analysis described by West and Matthews, including the cost minimization analysis. It seeks to determine the least expensive way to accomplish some outcome. Cost utility analysis. It considers the value or worth of a specific outcome for an individual or society. Willingness to pay approach. Asked how much individuals are willing to pay to have something they currently do not have. Willingness to accept approach. Ask individuals how much they will be willing to accept to give up something they already have, and cost of time. Qualitative research. Gurman and Clayton have written an excellent guide to a qualitative research. Methods for information professionals. Qualitative researchers have used a variety of methods and techniques, many drawn from anthropology and sociology. Specific research methods. What follows is a brief introduction to a number of research methods. Several of the methods are treated in some detail. Others are merely identified with an indication that more information is to be provided elsewhere in the text. Survey research. The research strategy where one collects data from all or part of a population to assess the relative incidence, distributions, and interrelations of naturally occurring variables. Experimental research. In experimental research, the researcher manipulates at least one independent variables, controls other relevant variables, and observes the effect on one or more dependent variables. This method is considered to be the best method for testing causal relationships. Historical research. Historical research is the study of historical events in order to establish facts and reach defensible conclusion, often in relation to a particular hypothesis, as described by Isaac and Michael Gay in their book, The History of the Word, An Introduction to Historical Research, Oxford University Press, 2003. Operation research. Operations research is the application of scientific method to management operation in an effort to aid managerial decision making. It is used to identify optimal solution to real problems, utilizing analytical mathematical techniques. Some general types of operation research are resource allocation, sequencing inventory, replacement, quaking theory, or competitive strategies. According to O'Neill, the standard approach to applying operation research includes the following steps. First is the formulating the problem, constructing a mathematical model to represent the system under study, deriving a solution from the model, testing the model and the solution derived from it, establishing controls over the solutions, and putting the solution to work implementation. Modeling involves the use of simplified representations of real-world phenomena. Computers are often used in simulating complex problems. Modeling is typically used to determine the performance of a real system, for example, interlibrary loan, by observing the behavior of a representational or analogous systems. System analysis. System analysis is similar in concept to operation research but tends to place greater emphasis on the total system and how the various components of the system interact. It typically takes into consideration the objectives and performance, the environment, the resources, the components, and the management of the entire system. Case study. The case study is an investigation of phenomena as they occur without any significant intervention of the investigators and can be useful for learning more about an unknown or poorly understood situation. According to Liddy and Ormward, case studies are an important area of research where the nature of the problem is the major determinant of the appropriate research methodology. Delphi study. The Delphi study is the design to generate consensus by systematically refining prior responses of study participants. It can be employed for issues that are quantitative and non-quantitative in nature. Content analysis. Content analysis is a systematic analysis of the occurrence of words, phrases, concepts, and so on in books, films, and other kinds of materialistically. Content and analysis has been used to determine how frequently racist and sexist terms appear in certain books. Cracker and Peeling studied students' research anxiety and their perceptions of research. Bibliometrics. Bibliometrics is a special type of documentary research or inquiry into library and information science. The most common type of bibliometric research is concerned with citations. Bibliometric analysis have greatly benefited from computerized bibliographic databases, citation indexes, and statistical programs. Application of bibliometric research identified by White, Boone, Sternberg, Wallace, Ossery, and others include the improving the bibliographic control of literature, identifying a core literature, especially journals, classifying a literature, tracing the spread of ideas and growth of a literature, designing more economic information systems and networks, improving the efficiency of information handling services, predicting publishing trends, describing patterns of book used by patrons, developing and evaluating library collections, and evaluating journal performance, for example, citation impact. Task-based research. Task-based research has been designed to utilize multiple research methods within the linguistic, teaching and learning, and human-computer interface communities. Comparative librarianship. The term comparative librarianship refers to the study of library development practices or problems as they occur under different circumstances, most usually in different countries, considered in the context of the relevant historical, geographical, political, economic, social, cultural, and other background factors. Ethics are of importance to all kinds of social and behavioral research, especially when the research involves human subjects. Unfortunately, unethical practices seem to have become more common in recent years. General guidelines. The ethics of social research is not about etiquette, nor is it about considering the poor, helpless subject at the expense of science or society. The issue of ethics often comes down to balancing the cost of questionable practices against the potential benefits of the research. Guidelines for LIS professionals. Ethical issues related to research and publication by academic librarians can include plagiarism, falsification or fabrication of data, and the submission of manuscript to more than one journal at the same time, according to Holtman, Luce, and Worley. Ethics of research on the internet. Some argue that posting to a public channels like Usenet and open mailings list are fair game for analysis. As computer and biomedical technology provide increased monitoring capability, we can expect more challenges to the boundaries of acceptable research. Scientific and research misconduct. Other mechanisms of minimizing misconduct have included mentor-apprentice relationships and communal review of research results. Scientific misconduct involves fabrication, falsification, or plagiarism in proposing, performing, or reporting research, according to Robert Altman. And for the summary, scientific method of inquiry is described in the detail in this chapter, but the list and discussion of various methods and their uses in LIS is not exhaustive.